Is the Pope a fan of the clips?
This is my favorite thing about the papacy is anytime there's just this little bit of vanity that like peeks through. Like the last Pope, the quote unquote cool Pope, like really had his guard up on any of this shit squeaking through. But like I remember growing up with like Pope John Paul II with that hat that was made him 6'5".
Yeah.
And he listed that as his height officially on tail of the tape.
Taller than LeBron.
No, I refuse to believe the Pope was a fan of the artist because fucking Jelly Roll performed too. Nah.
Who's Jelly Roll?
He's this fucking dude who was like a rapper and then
Jelly
was
Roll
like
Morton.
No, you
From
fucking
the past?
Yeah, no, you actual music history lover. Just fucking another one of these dudes who starts off being like, yeah, I'm a rapper. And he's like, nah, I was never a rapper.
Actually, I think rap sucks. I'm into country music.
I'm a country guy now.
That's
Ignore my
where
face
my
tats.
fan base has
With his
taken
name,
me.
he sounds like one of those morbidly obese rappers I keep seeing.
I mean, he ain't slim.
Oh.
I mean, it's not a clever name.
Oh, okay.
But I do like anything where the Vatican is just unabashedly being vain. I'm kind of here for it. I think it's funny.
I mean, the Sistine Chapel is pretty funny. That is the tackiest room on earth.
Yeah, right.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. That's what we're going to do in the Oval Office.
If I were Pope, I would paint over that shit.
Put up my Portishead poster.
All of them.
All of
I'm Jorge Ramos.
And I'm Paola Ramos.
Together we're launching The Moment, a new podcast about what it means to live through a time as uncertain as this one.
We sit down with politicians.
I would be the first immigrant mayor in generations, but 40% of New Yorkers were born outside of this country.
Artists and activists. I mean, do you ever feel demoralized?
I might personally lose hope. This individual might lose the faith, but there's an institution that doesn't lose faith. And that's what I've believed in.
To bring you depth and analysis from a unique Latino perspective.
There's not a single day that Paola and I don't call or text each other, sharing news and thoughts about what's happening in the country. This new podcast will be a way to make that ongoing intergenerational conversation public.
Listen to The Moment with Jorge Ramos and Paola Ramos as part of the My Cultura podcast network on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's your favorite Jersey girl, Gia Giudice. Welcome to Casual Chaos, where I share my story. This week, I'm sitting down with Vanderpump Rules star Sheena Shea.
I don't really talk to either of them, if I'm being honest. There will be an occasional text, one way or the other, from me to Ariana, maybe a happy birthday from Ariana to me. I think the last time I talked to Tom, it was like, congrats on America's Got Talent.
This is a combo you don't want to miss. Listen to Casual Chaos on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It may look different, but Native culture is very alive. My name is Nicole Garcia, and on Burn Sage, Burn Bridges, we aim to explore that culture.
It was a huge honor to become a television writer because it does feel oddly like very traditional. It feels like Bob Dylan going electric, that this is something we've been doing for like hundreds of years. You carry with you a sense of purpose and confidence.
That's Sierra Teller Ornelas, who with Rutherford Falls became the first Native showrunner in television history. On the podcast Burn Sage, Burn Bridges, we explore her story along with other Native stories, such as the creation of the first Native Comic-Con or the importance of reservation basketball. Every day, Native people are striving to keep traditions alive while navigating the modern world, influencing and bringing our culture into the mainstream. Listen to Burn Sage, Burn Bridges on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you want to hear the secrets of serial killers, psychopaths, pedophiles, robbers?
They are sitting there waiting for the vulnerable thing. They're waiting for the unprotected.
I'm Dr. Leslie, forensic psychologist. I advocate for safety and awareness of predators while wearing pink.
When you were described to me as a forensic psychologist, I was like, snooze. We ended up talking for hours, and I was like, this girl is my best friend.
This is a podcast where I cut through the noise with sarcasm, satire, and hard truths.
I'm not going to fake it and force it.
But would you force an orgasm? Because that's like a different layer. The car accident you didn't want to see but couldn't turn away from. In this episode, I discuss personal safety and self-defense, tools, instincts, and strategies to protect yourself and your loved ones in everyday life and high-risk situations. Listen to Intentionally Disturbing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, the internet, and welcome to this week trend edition of the Daily Zeitgeist.
Yes.
Production of iHeartRadio. This is the episode where we record Monday morning. Tell you what was happening over the weekend, what's happening this Monday morning, in addition to the giant concert that the Pope threw for his own birthday party.
You think so?
That we were referring to earlier.
It's hard for me to square that he's re-up gang and he likes Jelly Roll.
Right.
Those just feel like antithetical hip hop tastes. But hey, I don't know. The Pope may contain multitudes, or he had nothing to do with the lineup at all.
Come on, he's got to contain the entire Catholic community.
That's true.
Yeah, but big concert at the Vatican over the weekend. Maybe this is
what a world
sign of things to come.
Big
for
concert at the Vatican
Pope.
over the weekend.
And a big concert at the Vatican. My name is Jack O'Brien. That over there is Mr. Miles Gray.
Hey, whoa. Hey. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing all right?
How you doing?
Good. Just hanging with the Pope recently. It was really cool.
I mean, very close birthdays, I will say. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Miles Gray, on this Monday, September 15th.
Yes. Yes. When's the Pope's birthday? Was the Pope's birthday also this weekend?
The 14th.
Oh my
September
God.
14th. So he is Leo the 14th. So I'm getting a vibe from him that we're gonna start seeing the big Pope hat again, because he called himself Leo the 14th. His birthday September 14th. So that's already a little bit 14 is my number, is kind of my thing type thing. Mm-hmm. And then he had this big concert that just happened to be, I think, the day before his birthday. What would this be? 45 plus 25 is 70. His 70th birthday. Mm-hmm. So flexing on him.
Yeah.
I still haven't really heard him talk since he became Pope, which I've
heard him speak Italian. He was speaking Italian.
Yeah. He just changed that up. Once he became Pope, he went from being hey, how you doing? How you doing?
My
name's
bro.
To being hey, it's me. He just kind of knows the role, knows what people expect.
I mean, it would be jarring, but I think every time we've heard him speak, I think what he does is he puts that little accent on it as if he's not American, and he's and to the people of the world.
Right.
You're hold on, bro.
Which you kind of have to do.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is where we're going to tell you a little bit more about what's going on in the news. First, we tell you guys a little bit about us by telling you stuff that we think is underrated, overrated. Miles, what is something you think is underrated?
Underrated stairs. Just going up and down them as a means of exercise.
Now, this is kind of an old invention. So why are you now just
with a
getting
new
into
twist, man, if I may say so myself? Stairs, they're all around us. Stairs abound. And most of us,
cathedrals everywhere for those with eyes to see them.
Yeah. No, it's just I hate jogging. I hate traditional, when people are I go for runs and stuff. I could only kind of do that in the beginning of lockdowns because I was I'm outside and I'll run for my own terrorized mind.
Yeah.
But recently, since I've moved, I live near this massive public staircase.
Yeah.
And I just take it all the time. And it's a lot. By the halfway through, my watch is hey, you okay? And I'm wow. I'm fine, man. I'm just going up these stairs.
Halfway through the stairs. Is this, I'm picturing one of those movies where they're going up to seek wisdom from
Ace Ventura 2.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Just
exactly
a huge
that.
staircase on the side of a
There's
mountain.
Skeletons strewn about on either side. It's really fucking grim up there, man. But I do it every day.
Yeah.
But it's like interesting to see because I think just for me, in the beginning, I was like, this is fucked up, man. Like, how the fuck can anyone do this? But with enough reps, my butt tight.
Okay.
My thighs even stronger than legally allowed right now because of the amount of reps I'm getting on it. And anyway, I was just like realizing too, it's like this very easy thing to do, but it takes a lot of like effort and you have to use your legs a lot to do it. Yeah. And I've just become an appreciator of it because of also it's allowed me to do something very healthy like every day, which when you're podcasting, you kind of need these things to fight against the sedentary demons. And then I was just looking, the BBC had an article about all the fucking benefits of just the stairs. Stair walking. And it's not that it's necessarily
becoming a stair master.
Only a stair, you know, like it's not necessarily it's limited exclusively to going upstairs because you can get any kind of like cardiovascular movement. But it's like the fact that it's because you're like going upstairs, you use your abs, use your thighs, you use everything.
Damn, I'm going upstairs wrong.
I'm not using
my abs at all.
A Swedish person, not even a doctor, a Swedish person just said it's good for the brain. So I'm going to take that.
I'm going to take that.
Yeah. Actually, no, this is a medical researcher who also said, yes, it can help. It has benefits for the brain and everything. Generally, just exercise does. So whatever you do. All that to say, stairs, simple, beautiful, and my butt has never been tighter.
And it's true. I can confirm. No, I actually can't confirm that. But Miles wouldn't say his butt was super tight if it wasn't.
I wouldn't lie about that.
I can confirm that. Yeah.
Because when I see you next time, I'm going to be like, throw a beer bottle at it. Go ahead.
I always do, whether you ask me to or not.
Usually my butt absorbs it.
See what I can bounce off that thing.
It won't even bounce, bro. It will shatter on impact like fucking concrete.
All right. Underrated. My underrated is... My brain's a little poisoned this Monday morning just by the Charlie Kirk story. So apologies, but that is what's going on with me. So my underrated is the number of shitty people in all generations, just based on. Did you see the elder TikTok guy on social media who like went live from the moments after Charlie Kirk had been murdered? No. He's like in the crowd near the stage and goes live. And it is just like hitting his angles, like putting his hat backwards, being like, yo, it's me, Elder TikTok. Just he's like a Utah influencer, like Mormon influencer. But he's like smiling and giving the peace sign, talking about like, you know, shouting out, like telling people to follow his socials while being like, shots fired, this is real. But like also like doing peace signs and shit. And then he like later went on social media. Everyone was like horrified and like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah. And he went on social media to apologize. But even his apology was about, he was like, I want to be a better content creator for you guys. Like not a reckoning with the loss of humanity that went into such a weird decision to go live after seeing someone like murdered in front of you. But just being,
I could have done, the content could have been more fire.
It could have been more on point. The tone that I chose could have been a little bit more poignant.
That to me is like the scarier part of all this too, is everyone's response to it is like, not even like they saw a guy murdered. The guy's like, damn, that live could have been better. Yes. Or like even the idea that it's like, now's the time to go live to get some clout is just so woo.
But I do just want to, like, I think a lot of people are like, and that's this generation, you know?
Oh, sure.
This generation didn't have the best week. I'll say I'm pretty confident, though, that the main thing that's changed is not the shittiness of the quality of people, but rather that the shittiest people all have like cameras pointed at their faces and go viral for it all the time.
Yeah.
Like I've met so many people in older generations who get excited when bad stuff happens because it's like something they just like, you can like see like there's like a welling of like excitement and they just have sociopathy. And so they don't really like feel the pain of others. So it's just like kind of a charge for them.
Right.
So I don't think that started here. I just think that now we're inside a machine that brings it directly to us in a way that's disturbing. But I think the machine is broken and, you know.
And the machine's breaking our machine and our brain.
Yeah. And it is definitely breaking us and it's bad. But it's I don't think there's something new about this generation. I just think that there is something about humans and this particular media machine that is going to continue to perpetuate a version of humanity that is bad. Looks like shit, Miles.
Nah, I don't know. Could be cool. We might have robot arms or something.
That's what we're all waiting for. Miles, what's something you think is overrated?
This is gonna sound like such a stupid, like a dickhead thing to say on my birthday, but birthdays, and not on like some sad boy shit. You know what I mean? But just like
not
ever
on that
since
Seinfeld episode where he's like, another day closer to death.
No, not even. It's just more like and I feel like I probably say this all the time, maybe last year even, or the year before, or every year, who knows? But like since I was like 23 or so, it stopped feeling like a thing. And I look at my phone and I go, September 15th. Yeah, that's my birthday. And then there's not much else happening in my brain aside from that. Like, I'm like, I don't have this like little kid feeling anymore. Like, it's going to be my day. It's my day. It's special. Yeah. I think this is probably mostly to do with just life as you get older and just my personality. Because generally I'm not a birthday type of guy. Like every year I have the hardest time coming up with like what I should do to celebrate or like what I even like want. I'm just like, don't really think in those terms. And I think maybe it's just more like the cultural expectation around a birthday. Like I don't like the attention, believe it or not. Like I don't like everything being like, and what's going on with you today? Tell us. Don't really like that. And also I think it's also, as I get older and like I really get a hold of like my mental health and things like that, I really have to have like these gratitude practices to really ground myself into knowing like all the many things that I have to feel like positive about my life. And I'm incredibly fortunate to have like my health and family and being employed that I truly like, I don't feel like lack in any way that like, it just feels like a weird exercise to be like, but what am I missing that I need? All that to say, yeah, I'm doing great. And so I don't like birthdays. You know what I mean? I wish I had something, but I just don't. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's also like as I get older too, the passage of time feels less and less like what I thought it would be like as a kid, where I'm like, damn, what's like, I remember being in my mid 20s, be like, dude, what are you going to be like when you're fucking 41, fool? Like, are you serious?
I definitely thought like there was no point in not smoking or like doing things that are bad for me because like, what that time is like imaginary. Like it's like yeah, how could that possibly happen? Yeah. What will that possibly be like? Yeah.
And now I'm kind of like, now that I'm in it, I'm like, okay, well, like now I don't know, there just maybe these years feel more meaningful, but like mentally, unfortunately, I still feel like I'm 25.
Yeah.
But
and
just
you're
maybe
28, which is like that's way different than 25.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That is a thing. Like I hear a lot of similar people being like, God, I feel so old, who are like in their late 20s, early 30s. I'm always just like,
bro, you don't even have I remember saying shit like that too, and it would be like, because I'm like, damn, like 36 Chambers came out this many years ago. Right. Remember like in the beginning of the show we were doing shit like that, we're like, yo,
yeah.
But like in terms of like physically, like I said, I'm on the stairs, bro. My butt is better than it was at 23.
I know,
you know.
That's okay, right.
I'm blazing up these staircases. I just have to stretch more because I realized stretching out your calves really helps out with the knee pain. Okay. And these are the wisdom nuggets you get at 41.
I'm so inflexible. I've just gotten more and more inflexible as I got older.
Dude, you have
I just
to
walk
stretch
with my legs locked out now.
I know, like, and everyone thinks you're goose stepping or some kind of weird fascist military walk. No, sorry, my hamstrings
wobble
real
back and
tight.
forth.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a penguin walk. It's the hamstrings, actually.
They're locking up.
Oh boy! All right. Just everybody clear out. All right. My overrated And again, happy birthday. Jesus. I hope you have a great one.
Yeah, I'm gonna cook.
It's always the people who deserve it most who are like, what? Why do I even need a birthday?
No, but like, I'm so jealous of like Lacey, right? Like Lacey has the 4th of July every year.
Yes.
And like, it's an event. It's dope. Like everyone comes together to celebrate, and she's like a great person. But like, she's wired to, like, her personality really fits that kind of thing. And I'm always jealous of people who are like, damn, that's so sick. Like, that was a great birthday. Like, you threw a really great party for people to come to and like got everyone together. Like, amazing.
There was an event, and the event at the party was Lacey arriving to her own party
down a staircase.
So dope. Everyone was like, yo!
For me, I'd be so nervous. You're gonna fuck up coming down the staircase.
What do I do with my hands?
Just go to Carl's Jr. Just go to Carl's Jr. Be safe. Be safe.
All right. My overrated is also related to the shooting. Just a myth that I saw popping up right afterwards, which is how skilled you have to be to like shoot someone with a gun is a thing that I hear every time something like this happens. That I saw like with historically Jason Pargin, one of the smartest people I know who like kind of grew up in mainstream American gun culture, was pointing this out over the weekend. Like he grew up around like the magazines with like ads for AR-15s and shit like that like, you know, and those ads are like sell you fantasies about like somebody coming to your house and you like getting to shoot them essentially. But he pointed out that like it's a common myth that crops up after a highly publicized shooting that you like have to be an expert marksman to like murder someone from a distance. Like I even, you know, people were like, that was clearly a trained assassin after the Charlie Kirk shooting.
And that's based on what? Movies?
Yeah, movies. I saw people being like, they sent the jackal to kill Charlie Kirk. And this was actually a thing that came up after the JFK assassination, where people, one of the reasons that everyone was like, it had to have been multiple shooters. They thought it would be too difficult for somebody to shoot him at that distance with the rifle. And like, then a guy who owned a gun shop just like did it on CBS News, like easily. And
what do you mean?
Like, no.
They had like a motorcade and he was like, here, this is how you do it.
Yeah. I forget how they recreated it. It was like in the years
That's
after
wild.
the assassination. It was just like, no, this is pretty easy. I'm not like an expert marksman here. I can do it for you. They're done. But I feel like it's a thing we want to believe because it probably makes us feel safer in a country that's full of guns. Like if guns are these highly specialized weapons that only a like trained master can use at a distance to harm someone, we're all a little safer. And the truth is like, they are very simple devices that anyone who like has access to them and practices for a little while can use with accuracy at like very scary distances. And like, we've seen this over and over again. Like Kirk's killer, you know, the main suspect is just a 22-year-old who was like kind of into guns in the way that a lot of American people are. The guy who almost killed Trump was known for being like the worst shot in his high school gun club. Like they made fun of him for sucking at shooting things. And like, I remember at that time, people were like, must have been a trained marksman to come that close. And yeah, I just think gun culture wants to, first of all, like help their members feel cool and important. And like they have earned something by being able to shoot stuff. And it also just like makes the guns seem less dangerous than they are.
Oh,
and in
right.
fact,
like in the hands of a skilled marksman, then it becomes an instrument of death.
It like feeds into that whole like tough guy trained gun culture shit. And they are literally like point and click things. If you have enough time, you can point the gun at the thing you want to shoot and shoot that thing. And
I used to shoot somewhat regularly in high school and college.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time like shooting like an AR, I was surprised at how accurate this thing was already. Like I was hitting like a plinker downrange, like 100 yards with like iron sights. And I was like, huh? And then you're like, oh, right. These are made to be very operator friendly to make bullet go where you want it to go.
Yeah.
But like Yeah, I definitely had that like sort of realization where I was like, oh, because I had the very much like media informed version of what I thought it was to shoot guns.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, these are scarily accurate. But I don't have guns anymore. Actually, I never did. I was always, I had so many friends, parents, like just that group, like generation of people would have just so many guns. Like, it's funny. Like, I would talk to some of my friends and I'm like, how many guns did your like parents actually have? They're like, so many. Like, I made them get rid of it. Like, once I started having kids, because like, I was like, this is obscene. And it's like, but he's like, but my grandpa was a cop in the 50s. So this is just kind of like what people did all the time, is have a fucking stockpile of weapons.
And then as they get older, like that is scary too. Like that's a conversation that, people I know have been having with like a relative who's like going through a tough time. It's like, you have to go get the gun. I want you to do.
Just older people too. Like, I remember when my grandparents were selling their house, and they were moving out of like the house that like I always knew to be my grandparents' house. Like, as we were cleaning up, like we were just finding loose guns.
Yeah.
My grandma was like, oh, that was my old 22. I used to keep that in my pocketbook. I'm like, what the fuck are you? This shit is loose.
Yeah, but
like,
I've had relatives die with guns
belts.
that nobody had any idea that they had guns.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is the thing that, I don't know, I continue to be struck by, that everybody just kind of, we move past it and on to the thing, like trying to, someone gets shot by someone else for no good reason. And it's just, parsing the reasons instead of looking at the thing that made it possible. Which is they could have done that shit whenever they wanted for whatever reason.
It's just weird how so far past that, like usually there would be some kind of gun control, anything.
Yeah.
But now, because the media is completely controlled by like, or at least the lens of the media is now perfectly attuned with conservatives. It's like, who was this guy? And how trans could he be, or leftist? And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I'm Jorge Ramos.
And I'm Paula Ramos.
Together we're launching The Moment, a new podcast about what it means to live through a time as uncertain as this one.
We sit down with politicians.
I would be the first immigrant mayor in generations, but 40% of New Yorkers were born outside of this country.
Artists and activists. I mean, do you ever feel demoralized?
I might personally lose hope. This individual might lose the faith, but there's an institution that doesn't lose faith. And that's what I've believed in.
To bring you depth and analysis from a unique Latino perspective.
There's not a single day that Paula and I don't call or text each other, sharing news and thoughts about what's happening in the country. This new podcast will be a way to make that ongoing intergenerational conversation public.
Listen to The Moment with Jorge Ramos and Paula Ramos as part of the My Cultura podcast network on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's your favorite Jersey girl, Gia Giudice. Welcome to Casual Chaos, where I share my story. This week, I'm sitting down with Vanderpump Rules star Sheena Shea.
I don't really talk to either of them, if I'm being honest. There will be an occasional text, one way or the other, from me to Ariana, maybe a happy birthday from Ariana to me. I think the last time I talked to Tom, it was like, congrats on America's Got Talent.
This is a combo you don't want to miss. Listen to Casual Chaos on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It may look different, but Native culture is very alive. My name is Nicole Garcia, and on Burn Sage, Burn Bridges, we aim to explore that culture.
It was a huge honor to become a television writer, because it does feel oddly like very traditional. It feels like Bob Dylan going electric, that this is something we've been doing for like hundreds of years. You carry with you a sense of purpose and confidence.
That's Sierra Teller Ornelas, who with Rutherford Falls became the first Native showrunner in television history. On the podcast Burn Sage, Burn Bridges, we explore her story along with other Native stories, such as the creation of the first Native Comic-Con or the importance of reservation basketball. Every day, Native people are striving to keep traditions alive while navigating the modern world, influencing and bringing our culture into the mainstream. Listen to Burn Sage, Burn Bridges on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you want to hear the secrets of serial killers, psychopaths, pedophiles, robbers?
They are sitting there waiting for the vulnerable thing. They're waiting for the unprotected.
I'm Dr. Leslie, forensic psychologist. I advocate for safety and awareness of predators while wearing pink.
When you were described to me as a forensic psychologist, I was like, snooze. We ended up talking for hours, and I was like, this girl is my best friend.
This is a podcast where I cut through the noise with sarcasm, satire, and hard truths.
I'm not going to fake it and force it.
But would you force an orgasm? Because that's like a different layer. The car accident you didn't want to see but couldn't turn away from. In this episode, I discuss personal safety and self-defense, tools, instincts, and strategies to protect yourself and your loved ones in everyday life and high-risk situations. Listen to Intentionally Disturbing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And we're back.
We're back.
And so, yeah, as we've all heard by now and mentioned up top, a suspect in the Charlie Kirk shooting was arrested. Shockingly, a young white guy, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson.
And he was probably a leftist, right? Big D Democrat, came from a
long line of anarchic leftists.
His mother was a sentient copy of Das Kapital, I believe.
Yes. No, his entire family are Republicans. They were all like, we've never met someone who's not a Republican. This comes as a real surprise to us that you're telling us that he was not a Republican. Right. We don't even really know what that means.
What was the grandmother's quote?
The grandmother's quote said, "My son, his dad, is a Republican for Trump. Most of my family members are Republicans. I don't know any single one who's a Democrat. I'm just so confused." Like, just confused at the prospect that one of them would be a Republican. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah,
somebody is a Republican.
Don't say that too loud, grandmother. We don't want the truth to come out.
Right. We'll get to like all the ways that people who were critical of Charlie Kirk or, callous in the aftermath of the shooting have been targeted. It's kind of still early. It's not clear exactly what people were saying to get fired. We just know that people are being fired for not
having the state approved response.
Yeah, not having the state approved response of mourning for Charlie Kirk. But yeah, so Utah Governor Spencer Cox claimed that Robinson was deeply indoctrinated with leftist ideology, even though, we know that they jumped to this super fast when the bullet casings were discovered, even before they had a suspect. They didn't catch this guy. His parents saw the video and allegedly
his dad, who was a sheriff, right?
Yeah. It's unclear if his dad was a sheriff. There's like a lot of different reports that then like are having to be taken back. But the one, like, some people are saying that they had to like lock him in a room to like keep him. But, a lot of people were saying his dad was a sheriff. And then I saw that being retracted. But anyways, they just saw his picture and were like, that's him, and like turned him in. The FBI completely if that hadn't happened, it's unclear what they would have done because they didn't have anything that was like leading them in this direction. They were
looking for a leftist.
Right. Exactly. There were bullet casings discovered at the scene, like loaded into the gun, and then the one that was spent. And they had various references to memes and
Groyper memes.
Yeah. So, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what the memes are referencing. Like, they're just edgelord memes that are used by a lot of extremely online people. They're definitely used by Groypers and, a lot of the Nick Fuentes supporters use these memes a lot. Nick Fuentes was very critical of Charlie Kirk as being,
and then he started backpedaling
too centrist. Yeah, and then he immediately, assumed the correct position in the aftermath. But yeah, so it could be anything, but we know what they wanted it to be. What the official response wanted it to be is that he was leftist and a supporter of trans rights, or indoctrinated by trans ideology, because that was their initial read on what was carved into the bullet casings, even though the only thing that was suggesting trans rights or anything ended up being manufacturer markings on the bullets.
Oh yeah, because it said like TRN or something.
Yeah. Yes. So that's they claimed that was some sort of trans rights message being sent by the killer, and have had to backtrack, but like not really. That was reported on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, and since it's like been clear that is not what those markings were, they have been like, we just heard an early like that. They kind of correct it or like say how they got it wrong without being like, we're so sorry.
That's wrong and we shouldn't have done. Yeah.
Yeah. We're so sorry about, putting something out there at a time when people are, calling for violence that targets the most targeted group of people, the most vulnerable group of people in the United States. There's just no acknowledgement that they fucked up in a unbelievable way that was incredibly dangerous.
Yeah. Between that, there's like the Helldivers, like video game code in there. That's like a really like fascists love that game. There's a lot of stuff that you're like, oh, okay, this overlaps a lot with some of the interests of the far right for sure. And then, like he even went as like a Groyper meme for Halloween, like maybe 7 years ago. And people were like, okay, who knows what that means? It could, who knows, whatever. But a lot of it does seem to suggest that this isn't some person who was door knocking for Bernie Sanders or something like that. Like they would want you to believe that. He
went as Donald Trump with his face painted green, like very recently for Halloween. Reference to like the Trump Pepe shit.
Yeah. Well, God, they're going to do whatever they can to try and contort every single bit of information that we do have to not be whatever this is. And now they're like, he's not cooperating with investigators. And like, I wonder what that means.
Right.
Like if they're like, you're a leftist,
you're not saying the thing that we want you to say.
Yeah. Or maybe he truly is
he might just be
not saying anything
them.
Because that's kind of, maybe this whole event was meant to, accelerate the degradation and conflict in the country.
I don't think we know anything about like what his motives were. And I also think that anytime you're really leaning in and like hoping to have coherent ideology behind anyone who does something like this, you like Luigi Mangioni's manifesto is not like coherent in any way. Like this guy's beliefs are probably not going to be any one specific thing. It's not going to be a thing that like a political science professor would be like coherent, well reasoned. It's probably going to be all over the place. That just seems, you look at Lee Harvey Oswald's like politics and like what he believed, and it was all over the place. He was like trying to impress Russia possibly, but like nobody really knows what was going on there. And so it just becomes this opportunity to like take whatever you want from it. It seems like,
Yeah. Well, oh God, it certainly hasn't stopped like the rhetoric from people like Stephen Miller and Trump who are like, we're going to dismantle the left and its ideology of destruction as a way to kind of, you have to exploit a crisis at every moment.
Exactly. You never waste a crisis. That is, the fascist playbook. And I think they're probably going to use it. I think a lot of people are trying to like find the historic corollary for what we're seeing here. And like, I've heard people be like, we're in a civil war, but like, it's unclear what that would even look like because it's hard to know like who is on what side, like what, or like regionally,
sure. Cause you have people that are on the fringes and then you have most people who are in the middle who don't even know who the president, like who don't even know what's going on in the country half the time.
Right.
So it's, where people's attention is definitely like a huge factor in it. And I think it's kind of spread all over the place.
Yeah. So I don't know, like I've heard it compared to the Troubles in Ireland where like the out group is like controlled and abused with military police. And then there are like periodic outbursts of like terrorist violence or, you know, terrorist quote unquote violence. But it's really hard to, I think all we know is that the Trump administration, which was already using state power to violently control whoever they wanted, is going to use this to do that probably more forcefully, I think.
Yeah, it's just weird because like Trump doesn't even give a shit. Like he didn't even go to the vigil. Like he went to golf.
He was at the Yankees game like the night after it happened, dancing. He it almost seemed like he wanted to assure people everything was okay, but it does just seem like he didn't give a shit. Like there was one, I think this was a real video. I haven't like found confirmation because the people who are like linking off to the clip seem to mostly be like not fact checked organizations. But did you see the thing where like somebody was like, how are you holding up like in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk? And he was like, very well, I think. I don't know if he like misheard, but he was like, very well, you know, we've got I think the Oval Office redesign is going to be great, and just like kind of change the subject to
with his cognitive decline. He probably doesn't care, you know, truly, but his brain is all over the fucking place. I mean, did you see that picture of him at the 9/11 memorial with half his face drooping?
Yeah, we should talk about that next, I think. But yeah, okay. So this is the thing that Brian, the editor, just linked off to in the comments. But Spencer Halkimian on X tweeted this back and forth. My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. How are you holding up?
How are you holding up?
Over the last 3.5 days. I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks.
It's like a bad improviser where you come into a scene where you just have a joke
thing you want to get off.
You need to say,
yeah.
And someone's like, nice day, isn't it? And you're like, my leg is a turkey. Right. And you're like, what the fuck? Okay. But yeah, for him, he has to sort of get everybody to praise whatever he's doing. I got all the ball, whatever. Jesus Christ.
Just brag, bullshit, brag is the only kind of speed that he knows. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people pointing to his appearance at this 9/11 memorial the next day in the morning, where the right side of his face seemed to be falling off his head. Like it seemed to be really drooping down.
He was out here acting like he was smelling burning hair.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's probably nothing, right? Just having half your face droop as you look totally out of it.
Right.
That's what it was also funny because not funny. Just you saw more people be like, that's why that address he gave, it was AI probably because look at his face. They can't cover it up. But they're like, then there are other people being like, sounds like he might just be having these like little strokes a lot.
Yeah. Right. Little minor.
Probably not incidents. An issue at all. I mean, like this guy, I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor, but I'm going to say this. That seems like something is happening neurologically. That's just my observation, because I would have to effort to make half of my face droop. I'd be like, hey, you want to see a funny bit?
Yeah.
This is me with half my face drooping. But you know, that's fine because we have to completely ignore.
Miles can do a face droop, and pretty impressive. I tried to do it and I can't really do it. Can't really get there.
Look, I spent a lot of time as an only child looking in the mirror asking why. But then also I learned how to get really good independent control.
Where is everybody?
Half my face. But I mean, like, it goes along with just the shit he says in public, right? Like he's like, he'll answer a question, like he misses the context of a question, just says whatever he wants to. And then on Sunday, he was asked about the fucking illegal war crime murder of the Venezuelans on the quote drug boat that was like did a U-turn. He's like, no, they were trying to kill America with their drugs. It was a fucking mass murder. I don't know, because they're trying to ramp up some kind of larger conflict with Venezuela. But Trump was asked Sunday about it, and this is his answer. They said the president of Venezuela called this strike on the boat illegal. This is Trump's. He gives the whataboutism of the week because there's so many happening all the time. But here's Trump's answer too. That was an illegal killing, extra legal killing of people.
Are you going with us? Huh? Are you going with us, Maggie?
Not with you.
Good.
On
Just one more on Venezuela. The president of Venezuela called the strike on the boat illegal. Are you concerned that Maduro might escalate something?
No, what's illegal are the drugs that were on the boat and the drugs that are being sent into our country, and the fact that 300 million people died last year from drugs. That's what's illegal.
Do you think he's not telling the
300 million people.
Hold on. Let me just quickly have 340 million people in the United States. Okay, so that's a lot of people. 300 million last year.
That's so
we're down to
there. How many people are in the United States?
330, 340, depending on what web browser you use and what AI they're using to comb stats.
Right.
So there's only 40 million of us here.
Seems high.
Seems high. Also, can someone ask a follow-up right there?
Do you think he's a liar? Would you call him a liar? Seemed to be the follow-up.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is he's a fucking liar, right?
Yeah.
Like how do we turn this into good?
You know what's illegal?
WWE
drugs.
promo.
Drugs are illegal, and then you die, and that's all it. That's me. Okay.
80,000 appears to be the actual number of overdose deaths in the United States. That actually is too many. And
remember 1,500% off your prescription drugs?
Right. 1,500.
Like at a point, you got to just keep hammering away. It's like, hey, was the president misspeaking again, or is something wrong with him?
Right.
Just say that every time. They're like, don't even ask about it. Say the president said 300 million people died of drug overdose. That's mathematically impossible. So was he misspeaking, or is something wrong with him because he keeps doing this a lot? Does he not know math?
He doesn't care, or his brain broke. Right.
It broke.
Let's take a quick break and we'll be back.
I'm Jorge Ramos.
And I'm Paola Ramos.
Together we're launching The Moment, a new podcast about what it means to live through a time as uncertain as this one.
We sit down with politicians.
I would be the first immigrant mayor in generations, but 40% of New Yorkers were born outside of this country.
Artists and activists. I mean, do you ever feel demoralized?
I might personally lose hope. This individual might lose the faith, but there's an institution that doesn't lose faith. And that's what I've believed in.
To bring you depth and analysis from a unique Latino perspective.
There's not a single day that Paola and I don't call or text each other, sharing news and thoughts about what's happening in the country. This new podcast will be a way to make that ongoing intergenerational conversation public.
Listen to The Moment with Jorge Ramos and Paola Ramos as part of the My Cultura podcast network on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's your favorite Jersey girl, Gia Giudice. Welcome to Casual Chaos, where I share my story. This week, I'm sitting down with Vanderpump Rules star Sheena Shea.
I don't really talk to either of them, if I'm being honest. There will be an occasional text, one way or the other, from me to Ariana, maybe a happy birthday from Ariana to me. I think the last time I talked to Tom, it was like, congrats on America's Got Talent.
This is a combo you don't want to miss. Listen to Casual Chaos on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It may look different, but Native culture is very alive. My name is Nicole Garcia, and on Burn Sage, Burn Bridges, we aim to explore that culture.
It was a huge honor to become a television writer because it does feel oddly like very traditional. It feels like Bob Dylan going electric, that this is something we've been doing for like hundreds of years. You carry with you a sense of purpose and confidence.
That's Sierra Teller Ornelas, who with Rutherford Falls became the first Native showrunner in television history. On the podcast Burn Sage, Burn Bridges, we explore her story along with other Native stories, such as the creation of the first Native Comic-Con or the importance of reservation basketball. Every day, Native people are striving to keep traditions alive while navigating the modern world, influencing and bringing our culture into the mainstream. Listen to Burn Sage, Burn Bridges on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you want to hear the secrets of serial killers, psychopaths, pedophiles, robbers?
They are sitting there waiting for the vulnerable thing. They're waiting for the unprotected.
I'm Dr. Leslie, forensic psychologist. I advocate for safety and awareness of predators while wearing pink.
When you were described to me as a forensic psychologist, I was like, snooze. We ended up talking for hours, and I was like, this girl is my best friend.
This is a podcast where I cut through the noise with sarcasm, satire, and hard truths.
I'm not going to fake it and force it.
But would you force an orgasm? Because that's like a different layer. The car accident you didn't want to see but couldn't turn away from. In this episode, I discuss personal safety and self-defense, tools, instincts, and strategies to protect yourself and your loved ones in everyday life and high-risk situations. Listen to Intentionally Disturbing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And we're back.
We're back.
And the Emmys happened last night, and the big winners were The Pit for Best Drama, The Studio for Best Comedy.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Damn, didn't even... I'm learning on the show.
Yeah,
shit. I only knew the Hannah Einbinder bit that happened. I didn't know anyone who won because all I saw were the Hannah Einbinder clips.
Yes. So Hannah Einbinder won Best Supporting for Hacks, and she got to say Free Palestine and Fuck ICE during her speech.
Jack, come on, say the whole thing.
Go
Birds,
Fuck ICE,
Free Palestine.
Which the birds in question, not just my overall enthusiasm for the species, but she's a Eagles fan. Her
what
dad,
happened with them? Did something happen in their game yesterday?
They just they had a Super Bowl rematch with the Chiefs, and they beat them again. Not quite as bad as last time.
I saw that and people talking about the tush push a ton on the internet.
Yeah, I actually didn't watch the game. I know that the tush push, they try, like other coaches tried to outlaw the tush push over the offseason and did not get it done. So the Eagles are free
is done with the tush push. Who's Dean Blandino?
Damn,
holy
dude.
Shit, not Dean Blandino.
Once you lose Dean Blandino, you're kind of fucked.
Go ahead. Yeah.
It is, for people who don't know, it is a play that is so powerful that nobody can stop it. It just goes for 4 yards every time. It's everybody lines up and then they just like push on their quarterback's ass to like push him forward, and they push the whole pile forward. And it's just weird because the debate over it seems to be, should it be illegal or not? Because it's this massive advantage they have. And nobody is just like, why isn't anyone else doing it? Just do it. Just everybody, just if it's so powerful that you need to make it illegal, just do the fucking tush push. Maybe on account of like them being uncomfortable with pushing on asses.
Nah,
like,
no way.
Philly's
isn't that why people play football?
Team. Yeah, I know. That's the whole thing.
Butts?
It's just constantly patting each other and slapping each other on the ass.
Yeah. The quarterback's the dirtiest one, dude. So he's like, ow.
He gets back there, man.
Oh, yeah. I bring my own center to every team I go to. Like, what? So anyway, go Birds, fuck ICE, free Palestine. All right.
Just real quick on the Palestine side of things, Javier Bardem was also at the Emmys and out on the red carpet, voiced his support for a boycott of any company that is supporting the Israeli government's genocide campaign in Gaza. And yeah, so it seems to be, I don't know, like people... When she said that, there was a loud cheer in the audience. So I don't know. This is a change from where things started in this movement.
Because now there's like there's like a new list of people. I feel like I got to compare the lists of people who are now like signing on to like, let's knock it off in Gaza list.
Hey, let's knock that off.
Yeah.
The genocide? Yeah. Let's knock that off.
That's a powerful term.
Can we pump the brakes on the genocide?
Yeah. Well, if you say that, I have
we
to
get a little break pumpage.
Yeah. This is getting less and less meaningful on this bad boy. Who? Just this, this whole thing, man. That bad boy
this
over
whole
there.
Deal
say
right
name.
Here.
Use a proper noun.
The deal. The deal in the Middle East,
Okay, you covered your whatever. Okay. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for your support.
Yeah.
But she was asked about it later and, said that she feels as a Jewish person that it is her obligation to, protect her people and her belief system and her, their long cultural heritage from what is happening and separate all the great things that come with the Jewish faith and culture from what is being done in their name, which is a genocide by the Israeli government. So I thought that was pretty cool. So as that was happening, as she said that, there was a counter on the screen counting backwards. And if you hadn't been watching the whole show, you're probably not clear what that was.
I said, is she losing? Is she about to lose $100,000 if she speaks? It was not clear.
They're docking her.
Yeah.
So basically, the show opened with Nate Bargatze was the host. This was kind of his joke. He didn't really do a monologue. Apparently, he just said that he was going to donate $100,000 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. But to keep the show tight, if speeches went over 45 seconds, money would start being removed from that donation. So speeches that anybody who went over, instead of being played off, it would just be a counter that would
you're fucking over the children.
Show that they were stealing money from literal children. And then the broadcast put up a literal counter on the screen during speeches showing the money going down, which might have been I don't know, it might have been a funny one-off thing, but it was it actually they did happening. It for every speech.
What the fuck?
They kept it going.
You got to let the bit rest, Bargatze. Come on, baby. You can't do that. And also, you haven't identified a thing that annoys people to the point that it makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? People aren't always I get that there is the trope of long acceptance speech.
Yeah.
But it's never to the point where you're yeah, you know what? We have to put the well-being of children at risk.
Right.
Those got to be the stakes.
And we can all get behind this.
Yeah, it's just fucking weird. Again, to your point, it's fine a couple of times, but if it was every single one.
Yeah, they did it every time.
What the fuck? You've completely changed the entire tone of the award show now. It's an award show where $100,000 is being held hostage.
Yeah.
What it would have been great is if a bunch of people said, fuck, kill the counter, bro. I'm going to give 200. Watch this. And I'm going to go for a minute and a half. And everybody was stunting with their donations. Okay, maybe you have something there. But the fact that it was this $100,000 donation.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why she said, I'll make up the difference. Okay.
That is why.
All right, Hannah.
And he ultimately was psych, we're going to give the full amount.
We know. You're not a sociopath. But it makes you kind of look like one.
Yeah. All right. Those are some of the things that are trending on this Monday, September 15th. Miles of Gray Day.
Hey, shout out my boy Prince Harry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mainly, we just want to shout out Prince Harry, and we're all thinking of him and
Duke
hoping
of
he has a great
sex.
Sex. Hey man,
isn't that why he chose that name? I told him that's a sick ass name, dude. Dude, Duke of sex, dude. Whoa,
he's into
Harry.
Some wild shit.
All right, my boy.
That's right. All right. Back tomorrow with a whole ass episode of the show. Until then, be kind to each other. Be kind to yourselves. Get your vaccines while you still can. Get your flu shots while you still can. Don't do nothing about white supremacy. And we will talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
The Daily Zeitgeist is executive produced by Catherine Law.
Co-produced by Bei Wang.
Co-produced by Victor Wright.
Co-written by J.M. McNabb.
And edited and engineered by Brian Jeffries.
I'm Jorge Ramos.
And I'm Paola Ramos.
Together we're launching The Moment, a new podcast about what it means to live through a time as uncertain as this one.
We sit down with politicians, artists, and activists to bring you depth and analysis from a unique Latino perspective.
The Moment is a space for the conversations we've been having as father and daughter for years.
Listen to The Moment with Jorge Ramos and Paola Ramos on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's your favorite Jersey girl, Gia Giudice. Welcome to Casual Chaos, where I share my story. This week, I'm sitting down with Vanderpump Rules star Sheena Shea.
I don't really talk to either of them, if I'm being honest. There will be an occasional text, one way or the other, from me to Ariana, maybe a happy birthday from Ariana to me. I think the last time I talked to Tom, it was like, congrats on America's Got Talent.
This is a combo you don't want to miss. Listen to Casual Chaos on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you want to hear the secrets of psychopaths, murderers, sex offenders? In this episode, I offer tips from them. I'm Dr. Leslie, forensic psychologist. This is a podcast where I cut through the noise with real talk.
When you were described to me as a forensic psychologist, I was like, snooze. We ended up talking for hours, and I was like, this girl is my best friend.
Let's talk about safety and strategies to protect yourself and your loved ones. Listen to Intentionally Disturbing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Pretty Private with Ebony, the podcast where silence is broken and stories are set free. I'm Ebony, and every Tuesday, I'll be sharing all new anonymous stories that will challenge your perceptions and give you new insight on the people around you. Every Tuesday, make sure you listen to Pretty Private from the Black Effect Podcast Network. Tune in on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
This is an iHeart podcast.